The Philadelphia Phillies have made the trip up to historic Wrigley Field to take on the Chicago Cubs, who are 18-8. Of course, the Phillies are 9-17 and have really struggled up to this point in the season, not really playing well. But of course, they did not have Andrew McCutchen, who is now back, which we will see later. But on the mound for the Chicago Cubs is Jose Quintana. In his first 5 starts of the year, he has posted the ERA just above 4, a WHIP of 1.5, so walking a lot of guys and not really striking many guys out so far, and that WHIP is definitely not good. 32 hits in 28 innings. But lining up for the Phillies is how we're going to be lining up. Of course, McCutchen slotting in there, and Harper actually in the leadoff spot because of that weird MLB The Show thing where a player's morale tanks if he's not a star in the lineup. And second, unfortunately, is not a star spot in the lineup, which absolutely makes no sense. Because that's the most important part of the lineup, and so they're leading to fix that as Rumito grounds out in the first inning as nothing is doing for the Phillies. Zach Wheeler starting for the Phillies, 0-4, but he has pitched well. Of course, because wins means absolutely nothing. Pitching record means nothing. So yeah, 22 strikeouts for him, 27 innings with 1.3. He's been pretty good for us, and the Cubs are lining up pretty normal for them. I mean, nothing out of the ordinary. Kipnis, of course, new acquisition for them. But other than that, all of their normal players. So Zach Wheeler getting things in the bottom of the second here, jumping there, and Contreras hitting that one deep out to left field, but that one is going to stop at the warning track as McCutchen is easily there under it for the out. Now later in the bottom of the second, 1 out later, Rizzo coming up to the plate, striking out, just looking. So Wheeler looking pretty good early in this game. That was a theme for him and Quintana pretty much, as he also gets Almora in the bottom of the second. Later in the bottom of the third, Wheeler up, and Quintana walks Wheeler to start off the third inning, which would then lead to a Roman Quinn single. So definitely not a good start to the third inning for Quintana, walking the opposing pitcher to lead off the inning, and then letting the number 9 batter Quinn get on right after, and Harper would hit one deep to right field, and Wheeler would actually tag up from second, getting the third there, beating the throw, which would actually prove to be pretty pivotal as Rumito would come up later in the inning, single right up the middle on a play that Wheeler definitely would not have been able to go from second to home. So definitely a great job by him getting to third and the previous flyout by Harper, and then Hoskins would later come to the inning and he would ground out. So that would be all in the inning. Phillies scratch 1 run, but they would be back at it in the top of the fourth. Didi Gregorius up at the plate and singling that one into right field. The Cubs not shifted on that play right there, which is kind of surprising to see. Gregorius hyped up after that. Wheeler back up to the plate then later in the top of the fourth inning, and he is doing more damage at the plate, hitting that one, just dropping that one down the left field line, that one getting into the stands for a ground rule double. So Wheeler on base twice already today, and then Roman Quinn would hit a lazy fly ball to right, so nothing would be doing in that inning. But Zach Wheeler showing things with the bat so far today. Now him back on the mound, William Contreras at the plate, and Wilson Contreras, don't know why I messed that one, but anyways, he would go yard. So a early home run for the Cubs there, getting on the board to tie the game at 1 for the Cubs. Of course, Cubs loving it in the underground bullpen cam right there. So Harper would be back up at the plate in the top of the 5th, leading off the inning, and he would lead off the inning with a double right into the right center field gap, getting all the way out to the wall. Easy stand-up double for Harper to start off the inning. Later in the inning, 1 batter later, McCutchen would be at the plate and singling right up the middle, which would bring Harper home. Throw is just not in time, and McCutchen would get into second on the throw home. Hoskins up later in the 5th inning, man on third. McCutchen moving over on a ground out, and Hoskins would hit that one deep into left center field, and that one just get over the wall and barely into the left field stand. So a home run for Hoskins right there, a 2-run shot as the Phillies extend the lead that they retook early in the inning, with Harper getting on and scoring. So that would Hoskins' homer would do it for Quintana on the day. It's Alec Mills, a lefty who's been very good this year. ERA of 1.3 in 13 innings pitched, striking out a good clip. But we would return to Wheeler in the 6th inning, where he would get a strikeout, and well, Tyler Olson in for the Cubs, allowing a deep fly ball to left, but that one would be caught by the Cubs, so Phillies not able to capitalize on the scoring opportunity there. Hayward coming up in the bottom of the 6th. Phillies have a 4-1 lead now. After the Hoskins homer, Hayward getting a leadoff double into the gap for the Cubs, so they have a man on to lead off the inning for them. And later in the inning, after a walk, the Phillies would have 2 runners on against them, and so Wheeler would get a ground out there for now runners on 2nd and 3rd. And that would be the end of Wheeler's day, as Adam Morgan would come on for the Phillies, and he would allow a sacrifice fly to right field. The throw by Harper would just not be in time, a little offline, but also a little late, so probably would not have gotten Hayward at home for that one. Jeremy Jeffress would take the mound for the Cubs then. Pretty good for them so far this year, 16 strikeouts in 16 innings. Not really walking anyone, fairly low ERA, and his performance has definitely reflected that lowish ERA for them. Hoskins would come back up in the top of the 7th inning, where he would take Jeffress deep to lead off the inning. So first the batter faced by Jeffress in the game, and he takes Rhys Hoskins takes him deep. So for his 2nd home run of the game, the first one to left center, this one out to center field, barely getting over the wall into that basket. Gregorius would be the next batter, and he would hit one out to right in the deep right field, and that one would get over the wall, kind of hitting off the scoreboard and coming back into the field of play, but that one was ruled a home run. So Gregorius and Hoskins going back to back to get the Phillies a 4-run lead, and then the very next batter, Segura, he would hit one deep to left, doubling deep to left. So Jeffress yet to get it out in this game, and already has allowed 2 runs and has a man in scoring position on second base. So not great for him. So the Cubs would turn to Rowan Wick, who has not been very good. Not nearly as good as Jeffress was, even though he had a very bad start to this game. So he would come in, and Roman Quinn would come up, and Roman Quinn would hit one into shallow left, which would score another run for the Phillies. So the Phillies kind of pouring it on here late in this game as they take a 7-2 lead. Bryce Harper back up to the plate, and he would hit one deep to left field, and there's no doubt about that one. Hitting another home run on the year. Harper, of course, has really struggled to this point in the season, so it was good to see him hopefully getting back on track with a home run in this game, and his 2nd hit of the game, of course. Robert Stock would come in for the Phillies in the bottom of the 7th, and the Cubs would not be able to scratch anything across, as they now have a very safe 8-run lead against the Cubs. Now later in the bottom of the 8th, we have a alert position player pitching, as Roman Quinn comes in with the Phillies a big lead to pitch against the Cubs in the bottom of the 8th, and he would get Jason Hayward to pop straight up to the catcher, now facing Chris Bryant, but Gene Segura would make a slick play at third. So Quinn did allow one guy to get on, but so far through the top of the Cubs order, he has not allowed anything. And Anthony Rizzo, same story there, popping up. So Roman Quinn, the position player, an elite pitcher, getting the Cubs lineup to get out there. And then Vince Velasquez would return for the Phillies, come in for the Phillies in the bottom of the 9th, where the Cubs would scratch on one last run to make it a 7-run deficit, doubling into the gap. So Roman Quinn maybe should have been left out there for another inning because of that run there. But Velasquez would get the job done, striking out Baez on a failed check swing there, and that would be the ballgame. So the Phillies, sizable lead against the Cubs, and come out with a great victory here. Bryce Harper is your player of the game for his home run and double on the day. 4 for 6 on the day for Harper. And that's going to do it for this episode. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next episode.